Now, the second question about the genealogies in Matthew and Luke. What exactly do you want me to reconcile? Be more specific.
Yeah, so we've kind of heard a lot of the attempted reconciliations, right? Like the levirate marriage and stuff. But I want to know in particular, like when you're in discussions with, let's say, Muslims or atheists and stuff like that, what is your like preferred way?
Number one, for the Muslim, I don't answer it. I say, why are you attacking the Gospels if you believe Muhammad? You guys keep following the wrong approach. Follow the approach that CP, myself, employ. I'm not saying I'm on CP's level. Follow the approach. You don't defend biblical discrepancies to a Muslim. A Muslim, because of Muhammad, has to believe my Bible is the perfect preserved words of God. He has to join me in defending the Bible and affirming it and reconciling those errors. You guys keep debating the wrong issues and letting them get away with murder. You must force them to seriously contend with what Muhammad believed about the Bible. You believe in Muhammad. You believe what he says. If I show you he said my Bible is not corrupt, it's preserved, you got to stop attacking it. But if you attack it, that means you don't believe in Muhammad. So reject and condemn him as a false prophet, then I'll answer your question. So I don't answer the question for them. For the atheist who brings it up, my question for the atheist would be, why is that relevant to the historicity of the Gospels? Are you assuming that documents must be inerrant without error to be historically reliable? You know you can't assume that, because if that's your criterion, you can't do history for many things, because there are many sources that we're dependent on for certain historical events that are full of discrepancies, but no serious historian discards them. A historian will apply criteria to sift through the authentic, inauthentic, to arrive at an accurate portrayal of historical events. So why are you attacking the Gospels on the basis of alleged discrepancies in the genealogies when that does nothing to affirm the overall basic historicity of the historical Jesus, his claims, his death and resurrection, and his appearances to his disciples? So what are you trying to get at with alleged Bible discrepancies?
I see.
You're following the wrong approach. Because I guarantee you, when you answer the alleged discrepancies, they're going to bring 10 more. Because they're not looking for answers. They're looking to try to cause you to lose faith.
I guess on that topic then, because that makes sense, I have a question. What do you, if you encounter somebody who's just completely apathetic?
Oh, if someone's asking me as a Christian who wants to know, number one, any attempted harmonization, conciliatory approach is simply conjecture. What do I mean? I don't have Matthew in front of me and Luke in front of me, so I can't ask them. And I can't read their minds. They're with the Lord, right? That's why there's so many different attempts of harmonizing the genealogies. But the fact that they can be harmonized shows that there are no real contradictions, because if any harmonization works, then the alleged contradictions dissipate. But the problem is, just because you may come up with an harmonization that works, that reconciles them, right? Reconciles them. That doesn't mean that harmonization is correct, because unless Matthew and Luke are here to tell you, yeah, that's right, it's conjecture. You get my point?
That makes sense.
So keep these facts in mind. A harmonization is simply that, an attempt to reconcile what appears to be a discrepancy. So if that harmonization reconciles them, then that shows no real contradictions exist. But that harmonization still may be wrong, because that may not be the way to harmonize it. Unless God tells you that's correct, it's simply conjecture. Right? Now, in light of all that, the way I reconcile it is very easy. I take Matthew's genealogy to be Joseph and giving us the legal line. But Luke 3, it's not Joseph's, it's Mary. And let me give you some proof for it. Is it a coincidence that Matthew gives you Joseph's perspective of the Annunciation? You're given Joseph's view of the Annunciation, the Incarnation, and the role he played, whereas Luke gives you Mary's perspective. Is that a coincidence? In Luke, it's all from Mary's perspective, what she saw, what she heard, what she pondered. Whereas in Matthew, you're not given Mary's perspective, you're given Joseph's perspective, what he felt, when he found out Mary was pregnant, what he wanted to do, how he reacted, how God comforted him, and the role he played, and the revelations. So it's Joseph's perspective, right? So because it's Joseph's perspective, it makes sense we're given Joseph's genealogy, especially when it ends with him being begotten by Jacob, and he had nothing to do siring Jesus. Whereas with Luke 1, Luke 2, it's Mary's perspective. So it makes more sense that Luke 3 is giving you Jesus's maternal line, giving his actual biological line from his mother. But then why is Joseph mentioned? Because in genealogies where there are no male sons, the husband will assume the line of his father-in-law, because he stands in the place of his father-in-law in case his father-in-law has no sons. And you find that in 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verses 34 to 36, where a man from Judah had no sons but daughters, and his daughter married his Egyptian male servant, and that son born to the Egyptian male servant was accounted to the father-in-law, not to the Egyptian, to continue the father-in-law's line. Here, read it for me. Open up 1 Chronicles chapter 2, verses 34 to 36.
32 to 36.
Read it for me.
And the sons of Jada, the brother of Simei.
Slowly, so we don't go too fast.
And the sons of Jada, the brother of Simei, Jether and Jonathan. And Jether also died without children. But Jonathan begot Phaleth.
1 Chronicles 2, 34 to 36.
Oh, 34. Sorry. And Sesan had no sons, but daughters. And
he had what?
No sons, but daughters.
Okay.
And a servant, an Egyptian named Jerah.
Jared or Jerahai?
Oh, I'm Dewey Rames.
Okay, that's fine. That's because that's why you threw me off. It's okay, Jared. That's fine.
And he gave him his daughter to wife, and she bore him Ethai. And Ethai begot Nathan, and Nathan begot Zabad.
Did you see this? The grandson from his daughter continued his line, not the Egyptian line.
He said, no son, but daughters.
The line is from Sheshan, because it's talking about the line of this particular clan of Judah. So it's not talking about the Egyptian. It's mentioning he had no sons, so his daughter sired a son to continue his line for him, even though the father was Egyptian.
So technically, even it's not necessarily part of the line, but it's going to be genealogically part of the line.
Yeah, because it's still his grandson. It's still his descendant biologically through his daughter, but it's not from his son. So he's not continuing his line through a son, but through a daughter. And the father happened to be Egyptian. So that son is not considered Egyptian, because you're supposed to take your father's ethnicity. Here, because he had no sons, though his Egyptian male servant fathered his grandson from his daughter, the grandson was still considered a Judahite and reckoned to his grandfather on his mother's side, because now he's going to continue his grandfather's line.
Got it.
You get it?
Yeah,
so in the case of Mary, Jesus is truly the biological descendant of Heli. Therefore, though Joseph is acting in the place of Mary, the reason why is because he has no sons, so his son-in-law will be reckoned in the place of the genealogy representing Mary's father.
Okay, so the line kind of takes over at that point.
Because Joseph would continue the line. Had he had children from Mary, that's the thing. But now, the line of Heli, ends with Jesus biologically, because she had no children.
Wow.
But if they had children, the children would be reckoned for the father-in-law, even though he had no sons, only a daughter. And here's what's ironic. Joseph would represent his line, but nonetheless, Joseph did nothing to give him a son through Mary. The Holy Spirit did, and the line still ended with Jesus.
Got it.
Now, someone said, but hold on, doesn't church traditions say Mary's father's name was not Heli, it was Joachim.
Yeah.
I always get the two names wrong. Is it Joachim or Joachim? I get these, for some reason, the im or the een, I always confuse.
I believe it's Joachim.
Yeah, but in English we'd say what? So it's an in.
Yeah, I believe it's that.
Okay. Well, wait. The tradition says his name was Joachim. Well, folks, last time I checked, people had two names: Matthew Levi, Simon Peter, Thomas Didymus, Solomon Jedediah. Yeah. So what? He could be Joachim, and his name can also be Eli. In fact, you have a variant of Joachim, Eliakim. Joachim, and there's a variant, Eliakim. So Eliakim is equivalent to Joachim. So if his name is Joachim, then it's not surprising he'd be called Eli, short for Eliakim, which is the synonym of Joachim. Right?
Pretty much perfect.
But my point being, who told you that Eli isn't also Joachim? Simon Peter, Thomas Didymus, right? Matthew Levi, Solomon Jedediah, because a lot of people don't know that Solomon was also called Jedediah by God. In 2 Samuel 12:25, God tells Nathan to name him Jedediah. Jehovah loves him. So there you go. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.